Shusuke Amagai, a member of a group that hunts down hollows, is unanimously appointed by the 13 Court Guard squads as the new captain of the 3rd Division. He appoints Makoto Kibune as his 3rd seat officer. However, Amagai and Kibune are not well received by the 3rd Division members. On the suggestion of 10th Division Lieutenant Rangiku Matsumoto is Urukira. The 3rd Division Lieutenant holds a welcoming party for Amagai, but Amagai collapses after one drink due to his low tolerance for alcohol. Gillians invade the Dungai, the dimension between the Soul Society and the human world, and the 3rd Division is ordered to destroy them. Kira leaves with the 3rd Division members. While fighting the Hollows, the Kototsu, the cleanser of the dimension, somehow gets called in, leaving the 3rd Division in a race to escape before being cleansed. During their escape, Amagai appears, and with a last-minute rescue, destroys the Kototsu with ease. Then once they have calmed from their near-death experience, they find out that Amagai is actually still drunk. Lurichio Kasumyoji, a young princess of the Soul Society nobility, and her soul Aper assistants Ryusei, Kenyu, Kensuke and Ruzaburo, Enyu, and Kogawa travel to Karakura town to acquire sweets for Lurichio. Kenyu and Enyu leave and Lurichio starts to wander the town. Meanwhile, Achigo Kurosaki and Rukia Kuchiki are alerted to an abnormal amount of hollow sightings. As they leave to dispatch them, Achigo encounters Lurichio, who asks him for sweets and is attacked by hollows. As Kenyu and Enyu take Lurichio away, Achigo uses his Bankai to defeat the hollows, impressing Kenyu and Enyu. The following day, they move into the house adjacent to Achigo, becoming students at his school. Achigo repeatedly asks Kenyu and Enyu why Lurichio is in the real world, and they refuse to answer him. That evening, an assassin arrives at Lurichio's home. The assassin uses AW. Ipan with a mirror that reflects the moonlight to stun Achigo, and nearly kills him. Achigo uses his sword to reflect the moonlight against the assassin on his second try, and rather than be questioned, the assassin allows himself to be killed when Achigo uses his Get Sugar Tensho. Afterward, Kenyu reveals that Lurichio is the heir to the noble Kasumyoji clan. He further explains that Gyokaku Komoi, one of caretakers serving the Kasumyoji clan, has been attempting to take control of the clan by killing Lurichio. Under pressure from Rukia, Achigo agrees to protect Lurichio. Achigo and Rukia take Lurichio through the town, and they later have dinner at Ichigo's house. After Achigo starts an argument with Lurichio over her refusal to eat carrots, he accidentally reveals that Kenyu and Enyu hired him as a bodyguard. Furious, Lurichio runs towards the river, where she meets Oraheim Inoue. They are attacked by an assassin wielding a Guandao, who can fire energy blasts that solidify into rock walls. Achigo, Rukia, Kenyu and Enyu arrive. Kenyu uses his Shikai to immobilize the assassin, allowing Achigo to defeat him. However, the assassin commits suicide by collapsing a rock wall on himself. After the group leaves, Komoi's head assassin, Hanzanuki, retrieves the dead assassin's weapon. The next morning, Kenyu and Enyu realize that Lurichio is missing. Amagai orders the 3rd Division to perform several menial missions and training exercises to build trust within the division members. However, Kira believes that Amagai wishes to replace him with Kibune due to attention the division members give to him. One evening, Kira and Kibune investigate an old execution ground with division member Sahinta Seko. The three fall into the execution pit, which is filled with caged hollows. Kira and Kibune easily defeat the hollows, but one of the hollows manages to absorb Sahinta. When Kibune attempts to kill the hollow with Sahinta, Kira stops his attack, and Kibune states that Tishinta's lack of skill is the reason he should die. Amagai arrives and reveals that he created the entire affair. The following morning, Lurichio enters the Kasumyoji family household. Komoi discovers that Lurichio has entered the household, and orders Hanza to kill her. Achigo, Rukia, Kenyu and Enyu arrive in the compound and separate to find her. Kenyu and Enyu are then locked in a storehouse by Komoi. While Rukia encounters 11th Division Captain Kenpachi Zaraki, he realizes that Achigo is present and goes to find him, as Achigo eventually finds Lurichio. However, Achigo is forced to evade the guards. Losing track of her, Lurichio is attacked by one of her child servants, later revealed as an assassin. Zaraki arrives to intervene and kills the assassin, and Rukia later asks Zaraki to keep the incident a secret. Watching from a distance, Hanzo tries to frighten Ichigo by releasing his spiritual pressure, but is surprised when Ichigo is unperturbed. Komoi eliminates the remaining clan members that oppose him to consolidate his power. In Karakura town, Kisukurahara finds that there has been a shortage of a type of spirit particles, and theorizes that this is linked to the activities of the Kasumyoji clan. Komoi sends Hanzo and a dozen assassins to kill Ichigo, his friends, and Lurichio. Hanzo fights Ichigo using the mirror weapon an assassin previously used against Ichigo, and explains that the weapon, known as Saiga, is stronger by feeding on his spiritual energy. Hanzo traps Ichigo in a separate dimension using Saiga. Ichigo is freed by Yodishi Shoin, W. Ho reveals that the remaining assassins have been defeated. Hearing this, Hanzo retreats. The following day, Komoi installs Lurichio's fiancée, Shukanogi, as the head of the clan. Having failed in his previous attempt to kill Lurichio, Hanzo gathers 3 of his subordinates from the criminal underground and requests that they be given weapons similar to Saiga. Komoi agrees and the 4 set out to kill Lurichio, Ichigo, and his friends. In Karakura town, Lurichio tells Ichigo that others would frequently be blamed for her reckless actions, including Kenyu and Enyu. Sensing the arrival of Hanzo and his subordinates, Ichigo and Rukia stay to protect Lurichio, while Yuryu Ishida and Yasutara, Chad, Seido leave to confront their attackers. Hanzo fights Ichigo as Rukia, Yuryu and Chad each begin to fight one of his subordinates. Rukia's opponent, Jinai Doko, reveals that the unique blades the assassins are using are called Bakoto, swords that consume the user's spiritual energy to increase their strength. Jinai eats his Bakoto to increase his power and fire blades from his back. Yuryu fights Kuzuryu, who uses his Bakoto to transform into mist. Chad fights Genba, who uses the same rock wall forming Bakoto a previous assassin used. Chad repeatedly destroys the walls with his energy blasts, but Genba fuses with the walls to attack Chad from behind. Rukia uses Kido to restrain Jinai, and freezes him with her Shikai. He breaks free from the ice, but is consumed by his Bakoto when it draws too much energy from him. Before Rukia can retrieve the Bakoto, several assassins arrive and take it. Yuryu realizes that Kuzuryu is using his Bakoto to fuse with the surrounding mist, and uses Sprenger to defeat him. However, Yuryu is caught in the blast radius and is injured. Chad destroys the surrounding walls to stop Genba's attacks, and, in a clash between the strongest attacks of the combatants, Chad is victorious. Ichigo fights Hanzo, and, using the enhanced speed from his Bankai, breaks Saiga's mirror. In response, Hanzo uses one of Saiga's abilities to engulf Ichigo in light from the shards of the mirror. Sealed inside a different dimension, Ichigo is forced to relive his childhood and his mother's death. Reflecting Ichigo's guilt for being unable to save his mother, the image of Ichigo's mother tries to kill him. Ichigo manages to break free of the dimension by making peace with his mother. Ichigo dons his hollow mask and overwhelms Hanzo, forcing him to allow his Bakoto to absorb more of his energy. However, Hanzo is consumed by his Bakoto, ignoring Ichigo's pleas to stop. Meanwhile in the Soul Society, Kira covertly follows Kibune to the Kasumyoji compound, where Kuzuryu returns to report the death of his comrades to Komoi. In response, Komoi orders Kibune to kill him. Amagai proposes joint training between the squads of the 13 court guard squads, citing the attack of the cleaner against his squad, but his request is denied. That night, Kira confronts Kibune for entering the Kasumyoji compound, and Kibune denies he did so. An alarm activates shortly afterwards, revealing that there are hollows in the Sireti. Despite Kira's orders, the 3rd Division members follow Kibune to attack the hollows. The various squads fail to reach the hollows due to the lack of coordination between them. Amagai takes control of the situation and coordinates the squads in destroying the hollows. Elsewhere, Genrusei Shigekuni Yamamoto, the 1st Division captain, reveals that he orchestrated the attack to test Amagai, and approves the joint training. Komoi schedules Lurichio's wedding for the following day, and Kenyu and Enyu realize that he will replace her with an imposter if Lurichio does not return for the wedding. Ichigo goes to speak with Lurichio, who reveals that she knew about the true goal of the assassins and Komoi's connection to them, feeling guilty that Chad and Yuryu were injured. She escapes into the Soul Society, intending to participate in the marriage to keep Komoi in line. However, when she arrives on the other side, her eyes have gone blank and she expresses no desire to leave. Ichigo, Rukia, Kenyu and Enyu attempt to follow them, but are unable to reach Lurichio, as Kenyu and Enyu have been blamed for kidnapping her. On the day of the wedding, the four enter the compound to retrieve Lurichio. But 2nd Division Captain Suifang and several members of the 2nd Division surround them, and Lurichio does not respond to Ichigo's calls to her. Enyu uses his Shikai to destroy the building, and in the confusion, Ichigo reaches Lurichio, revealing Komoi's intention to gain control of the clan to Shu. Ichigo is attacked by Lurichio, who is revealed as an imposter. Suifang begins to fight Ichigo, allowing Lurichio and Komoi to escape. Kenyu and Enyu are captured by the 2nd Division members, and Ichigo and Rukia escape with Shu's help. The three decide to escape by having Shu pose as a hostage. In response, Yamamoto orders a manhunt for Ichigo and Rukia. When Suifang voices doubts concerning Komoi's intentions to Yamamoto, he merely agrees to take them under consideration. Kira voices his suspicions on Kibyun's recent actions and relations to the Kasumyoji family to Amagai, who reacts with skepticism, but asks Kira to observe Kibyun. The 2nd and 3rd DV Scions begin to guard the Kasumyoji compound, and Suifang returns Kenyu and Enyu to the Kasumyoji clan at Yamamoto's order. Elsewhere, the real Lurichio is imprisoned by Komoi's assassins and visited by Kibyun. As Kibyun leaves, he is noticed by a drunken 3rd Division member, whom Kibyun kills. The following morning, 6th Division Lieutenant Renji Abarai asks his captain, Byakuya Kuchiki, if he is worried that Rukia is being pursued. After Byakuya denies that he is, he gives control of the search party to Renji. Ichigo, Rukia, and Shu decide to rescue Lurichio, but are attacked by Amagai, who uses his Shikai against Ichigo. Shu stops the battle, revealing the truth of Komoi's intentions to Amagai, who agrees to help them. For helping Ichigo, Amagai is branded a traitor by Yamamoto, who orders him to be hunted as well. Captains Shinsui Kyoraku and Jushiro Okitake ask Yamamoto for permission to investigate the Kasumyoji clan, but Yamamoto refuses. Meanwhile, Renji and Ikaku Madara begin to fight Lieutenants Tetsuzima Nibar and Shuhei Hisagi respectively over their differences concerning Ichigo and Rukia's actions. Kira enters the Kasumyoji compound and finds Lurichio, and is attacked by several assassins. Although he defeats all of them, one of the assassins escapes with Lurichio, and Kibyun arrives to fight him. Despite the patrols of the 13 Court Guard squads, Ichigo, Rukia, Amagai and Shu manage to make contact with the 3rd Division members, and head towards the training grounds of the 3rd Division, which was Lurichio's last known location. Kira begins to fight Kibyun, and initially gains the advantage by using his Shikai to increase the weight of Kibyun's Zanpakuto. Kibyun uses his Bakoto to negate Kira's Shikai, as he continues to fight. Discussing his past, Kibyun reveals that he was ostracized in the 13 Court Guard squads for not protecting his weaker division members during missions, and assigned to squads specialized in hunting down hollows as a result. He states that the Bakoto will give him enough power to gain respect from the 13 Court Guard squads. Kira realizes that Kibyun is using his Bakoto to negate his Shikai, and he manages to exhaust Kibyun, enabling him to use his Shikai to increase the weight of Kibyun's Zanpakuto. Kibyun attempts to draw on more power from his Bakoto, but is consumed in the process. Kira collapses soon thereafter. Ichigo and Amagai pursue a pair of assassins with Lurichio, and discover that the Lurichio they are carrying is a fake. They return to the arena, where Kira reveals Kibyun's association with Komoi. Renji arrives and takes Kibyun's Bakoto to Yamamoto. Ichigo, Rukia, Amagai, and Shu head to the Kasumyoji compound, which 10th Division Captain Toshiro Hatsugaya is guarding. Amagai fights Hatsugaya and Rukia fights Rangiku, as Ichigo and Shu enter the compound. Elsewhere, Yamamoto orders that the 13 Court Guard squads attack the Kasumyoji compound, after seeing the Bakoto brought by Renji. Hatsugaya and Rangiku stop fighting after they hear the order to attack the Kasumyoji clan, and the remaining divisions attack the compound. Yamamoto reveals that he suspected the crimes of the Kasumyoji clan. but could not act until Ichigo revealed concrete evidence of their crimes. Komoi, incensed about the attack, sends all of his assassins against the attacking Soul Reapers. Rukia and Shu find Komoi, who is using Lurichio as a hostage, and reveals that he sought to take control of the nobility of the Soul Society. Amagai arrives, kills Komoi, and teleports to Yamamoto's location with Lurichio. Amagai reveals that he orchestrated the events surrounding the Kasumyoji clan, and desired revenge against Yamamoto for killing his father, Shunitsu Kisaragi. He further accuses Yamamoto for allowing the Kasumyoji clan to create Bakoto, declaring that he dedicated his life to killing Yamamoto. Yamamoto uses his Shikai, but Amagai uses his Bakoto to negate his attack, revealing that it suppresses all powers of the Soul Reapers save his own. Amagai uses his Bankai, and Ichigo arrives to fight him. Ichigo begins to fight Amagai, but due to Amagai's Bakoto, he has difficulty in fighting at full strength. Ichigo dons his hollow mask to increase his power, as Amagai's Bakoto cannot negate his hollow powers. Amagai begins to attack Ichigo's mask, and Ichigo manages to hit Amagai with his Get Sugar Tensho. Injured, Amagai declares that he is willing to die for his revenge, and starts to draw more power from his Bakoto. Amagai manages to regain control of himself after overusing his Bakoto, and Ichigo defeats him. Undeterred, Amagai stabs Yamamoto, who is unharmed by the attack. Yodishi and various captains and lieutenants arrive, revealing to Amagai that Yamamoto ordered Amagai's father, Kisaragi, to investigate the Kasumyoji clan's Bakoto. It is explained that Komoi used a Bakoto to control Kisaragi, and Yamamoto was forced to kill him. Upon learning this, Amagai forgives Yamamoto and to repent for his deeds, uses his Zanpakuto to self-immolate. Before he dies, he apologizes to Kira. Later, Lurichio and Shu thank Ichigo for his aid, and Lurichio takes her position as the head of the Kasumyoji clan.